Association of Basketball Coaches and Ronald McDonald House Maine want to thank these supporters of the 2026 Maine McDonald's All-Star Weekend. Diamond sponsors: Hammond Lumber Company, Maine McDonald's owner-operators. Host sponsor: Husson University. Silver sponsors: Eastern Maine Community College, Keurig Dr. Pepper, Roofing Source, The Fitch Company. Bronze sponsors: Bangor Savings Bank, McCain Foods, Bar Harbor Bank and Trust, Coca-Cola, and Martin Brower.
6. Hello everyone and welcome to Newman Gymnasium at Husson University, the site of today's Maine McDonald's All-Star Games. I'm Mark Paulette, joined on this morning's broadcast by Chris Hoare, here live on Ticket TV. Our coverage today is brought to you by Hammond Lumber Company, presenting sponsor, a fourth-generation family-owned business since 1953 with 34 locations across Maine and New Hampshire, proudly supporting Maine high school student-athletes. Also supported, of course, by your local family-owned McDonald's, Main Street and Union Street in Bangor, as well as Wilson Street in Brewer. Make sure to stop in at those restaurants to take advantage of offers you won't want to miss. Well, the final seconds of pregame ticking off here this morning at Newman Gymnasium. The crowd's still filing in, and we are just about ready to get the first of 4 games underway. We get today's action going with the girls' AB All-Star Game. 12 girls in the north, 12 in the south. I'll bring in my broadcast partner now, Chris Hoare, as we get ready here. Chris throwing a little pregame curveball here. We had some programs made up for us and now scrambling trying to correct the numbers and make sure we can call the right girls out there on the court.
Yeah, that's important when you're playing in a game like this. You want to be noticed for who you are, and if we can get the numbers right. So I'll be listening during the starting intros or the team intros to try and write down the correct numbers next to the nice pictures that they have in here.
We'll be very attentive, so we may be taking a break here in the upcoming moment, but a full day's action in store. 4 games, and you have the competitions in the middle. Right here, you're taking a look at the coaches for the South squad. Billy Goodman of Cheverus, Jessica Stacy of York. Billy Goodman, 7 years at Cheverus. Before that, 7 years at McCauley, 3 years at Greeley. A career record of 281 and 57. That's an 831 clip. That's not too bad, Chris.
Yeah, a pretty good gang of schools that he's coached at as well. So you can tell there's a reason that his record is what it is.
10 appearances in the regional finals and 5 state champions. And for Jessica Stacy, 7 years at York, a 60 and 43 career record. Coaching things this morning for the North, that would be Nick Winchester of Hamden Academy. Nick has been at Hamden for 9 years after 2 at Orono. Also spent a couple of years as an assistant coach at Maine Maritime Academy. He owns a career record of 147 and 70. 677, the winning percentage. Of course, back-to-back regional championships for the Hamden Academy Broncos, falling in the state game this year after they were up, 19 at one point in the second half of that contest. But the Broncos 4 Northern Maine regional titles, and Nick Winchester, a 2-time Coach of the Year. Brittany Jarrow, you saw her as well there for Gardner in her 3rd year as the Gardner head coach, a record of 34 and 22. They were 17 and 1 this season. She spent 13 years as the Gardner JV coach. Here's a look at the South AB roster. Nia Avery of York, Kaylee Corcoran of South Portland, Zoe Dellinger of Gorham, Lila Dunphy of Westbrook, Anna Goodman from Cheverus, Ava Hudson of Sanford, Marley Jarvais of Wyndham, Ella Kenny from Grey New Gloucester, Kylie Lamson, Miss Maine finalist from Cheverus, Natalie Lathrop from Marshwood, Destiny Peter of South Portland, and Renee Ripley of Oceanside. Here's a look at the North roster, represented by Juliana Allen from Mount Ararat, Elizabeth Bowles from Ellsworth, Avery Clark from Bangor High School, Jillian Ford from right across the river in Brewer, Delaney Hoare also from Bangor, Jenna Jensen from Mount Ararat, Leah Jones of Camden Hills, Grace Labrie of Hamden Academy, Taylor Loring of Old Town, Maddie Provost, another Miss Maine finalist and state champion from Lawrence, as is Ashley Shores, those 2 winning gold balls as freshmen and seniors, and Kylie Wog from Mount Ararat. That is everyone participating in our first of 4 games this morning. We'll take a brief time out, and when we come back, we'll get ready for some basketball. You're locked into the Maine McDonald's All-Star Games from Newman Gymnasium at Husson University on Ticket TV.
Any job goes more smoothly and successfully with the right people on your team, like the people at Hammond Lumber Company, where you'll find high-quality building materials from industry-leading suppliers and get expert advice and professional services. Hammond offers timely delivery with their own fleet of trucks, with boom and forklift trucks available. For your next project, get the materials and services you need to succeed from Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
Dorsey Furniture has just purchased the entire Bedding Industries of America 2025 showroom. That's one of America's oldest and largest premium mattress manufacturers. They manufacture famous Eastman House and Eclipse mattresses, as well as over 20 other trusted brands. From that buyout, we've received 40 mattresses, mostly queen size, and right now everyone is 50% off. Limited quantity, no reorders. When they're gone, they're gone. Dorsey Furniture, family owned, Maine trusted.
Sleep well, my friends.
Acadia Federal Credit Union keeps you in touch with your money using our mobile app, Acadia Go. Access your account anytime, anywhere. Check balances, transfer funds, pay bills, and even deposit checks with the tap of a button. That's not all. Now with Apple Pay, use your fingerprint to pay for purchases. It's quick and your account information is never shared. Apple Pay is safe and private. Acadia Federal Credit Union. We keep you mobile.
Your local professional, eco-friendly office space partner is Levesque Business Solutions, your one-stop shop to get the job done. Handling all your office furniture and printing machine needs at an affordable price. Offering full system integration into your workplace and local service on everything we sell. We can even remote monitor your system with just-in-time inventory and service need assessments. Little to no downtime gives you peace of mind. At Levesque Business Solutions, your solution is only an email or a phone call away.
Any job goes more smoothly and successfully with the right people on your team, like the people at Hammond Lumber Company, where you'll find high-quality building materials from industry-leading suppliers and get expert advice and professional services. Hammond offers timely delivery with their own fleet of trucks, with boom and forklift trucks available. For your next project, get the materials and services you need to succeed from Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
Thank you to Jim Churchill for finishing off our national anthem this morning after a rather abrupt ending to the recording. We're back here at Newman Gymnasium, and we are ready to get some basketball underway this morning. Our coverage on Ticket TV, presented by Levesque Business Solutions, your one-stop source for office equipment and office furniture. Give Levesque a call at 942-2226 or visit LevesqueSupply.com. Big news, Brewer, Acadia Federal Credit Union opens on Wilson Street on March 9th. Serving Maine since 1963 with branches in Bangor, Brewer, and Aroostook County. You can learn more at acadiafcu.org And the Fitch Company is where they feature electrical and control systems engineers, field technicians, designers, and drafters ready to tackle complex projects. Just visit thefitchcompany.com. So it is the girls AB contest to get the morning underway. Mark Paulette and Chris Hoare on the call with you. We believe we have the numbers sorted out there. So, Chris, we know who we're looking at. I'm not going to lie, I was having some nightmarish flashbacks to last year when I was trying to feverishly flip through that program over there and figure out who I was staring at out there on the court. So
I might be in that boat right now.
I think we're in a little better setting today, hopefully, as the opening tip is won by the North. Maddie Provost off to Avery Clark, over to Shores of Lawrence. Shores trying to return it to her teammate, too tall for the Miss Maine finalist. Clark saves it in, but right to Peter from the south.
Yeah, these games always have a little bit of feeling out process, both with new teammates and the people you're playing against. It's always fun to watch, though.
Ooh, great pass to the baseline. The feed there from Ella Kenny. Laying it in, I believe that was Natalie Lathrop.
Yep.
Lathrop with the game's first 2 points. 5'4" guard out of Marshwood, who averaged 14 points during her senior season. Provost can't connect on a three. And another board to the south. Yeah, so ahead of today, do these teams even share a court with one another? You just get out here and shoot around and say, there's 12 of you, pass it around and have some fun.
Pretty much it. They might get one practice maybe yesterday.
Comes the North trying to break. Provost with the rebound. Clark, a floater from just inside the free throw line. Can't connect. Avery Clark will be playing on this court next year, part of an incoming class for Kissy Walker at Husson University.
Yeah, my guess is she spent a lot of time on this court since her dad is the head football coach here at Husson University.
Spent a little time around these facilities over the years.
A very athletic family, obviously. For those that don't know, her older brother Landon is a freshman at Princeton playing basketball. Had a phenomenal season.
Yeah, averaging, low 20s, getting a good amount of playing time in the Ivy League. Of course, also had an older brother who was quarterback Max. Right here at Husson. Going to be talking about a lot of incoming Husson Eagles today during these girls' games, I should say. I believe at least 4 as I was going through and doing some prep on the rosters. Will be making their way and calling Newman Gymnasium home next year as a 3. Reined in by Kylie Lamson.
Yeah, right over McDonald's top female basketball player, Maddie Provost, who won that award last night. They were both contestants for that, finalists.
Maddie Provost lays it in, right on cue.
We saw Lamson last year at Bangor for the first time. I think she had transferred into Cheverus, and she absolutely lit Bangor up with an array of 3-point shots from anywhere on the court. She just lit them up. It's quite a barrage of shooting that she put on.
Have another look here at that last drive and the game's first whistle. A couple of players converging down low. 2 minutes and 2 seconds into the contest. We get some free throws. Of course, the first part of the morning here spent shooting free throws at Newman Gymnasium. Kylie Lamson with a quick 4 points, also a nice assist. Now she's got 5 after 2 of 2 at the line. 7-2, the South leads it just over 2 minutes in. Bowles brings it up the court for the North. Off into the corner to Provost. Down low to Shores, back to Bowles. Trying to work around traffic in the corner. Keeps the dribble alive on the baseline. Kicks it out to Allen. Allen, a hard drive and a flip with the left hand, but can't get the shot to fall. Juliana Allen, 6 foot forward from Mount Ararat. South looking for more. Nice cut to the back door and laying it in. Nia Avery. York forward with her first 2. She averaged a double-double for the season. 16.3 points to go with 10 rebounds. Bowles trying to loft it over the top. Shores lays it up and in off the iron.
Yeah, Allen and that Mount Ararat team was the top-seeded number 1 team in Class A North. Unfortunately, to make it as far as they wanted to, they lost to Hamden in the semis or in the regional final.
Allen started the break by getting her hand on the basketball. Bowles brought it up court, feeds it down low to Shores. 2 more points, and the North back within 3. Ashley Shores with 4 of the 6 for the North squad. How do you run this as a coach? 4-minute rotations, just hockey lines in and out?
Yeah, I think I've said this before, and you coach games like this, and
right on cue.
I've done a couple. You're basically a substitution manager at best. You may coach at the end. You'll see that. I think we watched that a little bit last year. Maybe CD game. I know Nate Case was doing the game, and he brought his fancy-dancy clipboard to draw up some plays. And these coaches want to win, and they know the players do. It's a little bragging rights against the other side of the state. And so they'll coach them up when they want them to, and other than that, you're just kind of sitting and letting the kids enjoy playing in the game one last time.
There's our first line change, and it features 4 local players: Jill Ford, Delaney Hoare, Taylor Loring, Grace Labrie out there on the court, all from the Bangor area, joined by Leah Jones from Camden Hills. We saw her talking about sharpshooters in a game earlier this year at Brewer, Chris, when she just lit it up from the perimeter.
Oh, she's an aggressive player. She was very good defensively, but then you're right, she can shoot it. And she did light Brewer up in that game. And
9-6 here, the South with the lead, just about 4 minutes into the contest. Here's a 3-ball up, left a little short. Offensive rebound there to the South. The floater won't go. Jones with that aggression right there on the baseline, the last to touch it, and it'll keep it with the yellow team. Inbound comes to Corcoran, still with the dribble at the free throw line. Picks it up and needs a little help off into the corner. Working it around, that 3 with a hand in her face from Labrie comes up short. Can't blame her there with the tallest player on the court sticking a right hand in her mitt.
And she's probably not used to having to shoot over some of that 6'3" in most of her games.
There's a smooth little baseline jumper cashed by Kaylee Corcoran. 5'10" forward from South Portland. She'll be heading off to Southern Maine Community College to continue her basketball career as Loring catches air and from the corner, but a nice little follow and a reverse layup. Delaney Hoare.
That's just kind of being in the right place at the right time for Hoare. She was cutting underneath, and ball came up short on the air ball and just landed in her hands and was able to go right back up with it.
Good looking stroke on the 3, but offline. Hoare with the rebound, up court to Loring. Loring lobs it inside to Labrie. Kick out, Hoare's 3. A little too strong, up and off the top of the basket here. That hangs down from the ceiling. Dead ball to the South. Dropping the shoulder and trying to go all the way to the rim, getting denied by Grace Labrie. Renee Ripley with the strong drive. We just saw her last Friday night at the Cross Center in Bangor, Oceanside, falling to Maddie Provost and Ashley Shore's Lawrence Bulldogs. A long 2 knocked in that time from Anna Goodman.
You can see why a lot of these teams made it to the state. They have multiple players that are playing in this game for a reason. Their teams are that good, and just says a lot about the talent that these area schools have.
Anna Goodman, the Batman to Kylie Lamson's Robin at Chevrolet. 10.1 points per game, 5.6 boards, 2.2 assists. She had that last bucket. Delaney Hoare adding to her total after the first make. Up to 3 points after averaging 14.6 for her senior season at Bangor. Splits the pair and a rebound to Ava Hudson. Leah Jones grabs the rebound, 13-9. The South leading it, about 5.5 minutes, just beyond there. Off the clock. Beginning the day at Newman Gymnasium. Get the boys' AB game to follow this one. Then we break for some competition, slam dunk competition, 3-point contest. And then it's off to CDS. Of course, S getting involved this year. I believe we start with the boys in the afternoon, right? And then wrap it up with the girls.
I believe so, yeah.
Banging away down low. Ripley gets a bump. The ball wound up out of play, or at least the rebound. Delaney Hoare might add a foot along the baseline, so it'll stay with the South. Little give and go. Ripley in the corner. And jumping the pass here, taking it away. Anna Goodman, actually, sorry, that is Lila Dunphy. Those 1s and 7s, white on yellow, can get a little tricky.
The number set up here, the color contrast is not all that great for the yellow uniforms.
Ooh, Labrie getting blocked from behind, not something she's used to, but Ripley with the active hands defensively. South trying to break it up court, but the bounce pass too far ahead and out along the baseline. Little run there from the South, though, now has them doubling up the North, 18-9 as we approach the 13-minute mark of this first half. It's another change for these McDonald's games, 2 20-minute halves as opposed to the 4 quarters in high school basketball. Longer games, get a little more action out there on the court. Taylor Loring showing off the handles, scooping it over the iron.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that this year up at Old Town High School. She had a great career.
2025 Big East first teamer, 3 in the corner, unable to connect, and the rebound into the hands of Jones. Jones wants to go full court up ahead. Ripley got a hand in there, but it's corralled by Hoare. She circled out and went back on the drive, but the shot won't fall. Another rebound to Goodman. Ripley head up, throwing it into the front court. Ripley trying to work around the screen, put up a 3. It comes up short. The South trying to save it in. They do so, but right to Leah Jones. Jones off and running into the front court. Trying to get it to Labrie, but the defense collapses on her, so she whips it into the corner. Loring's 3 can't connect. The South getting ready for their next line change, as is the North. 10 players at the scorer's table, like you're accustomed to seeing in every basketball game. Step back 3 won't go. Jones mixing it up down low, and we got a tie-up. Tell you what, Leah Jones, since she entered the game, you mentioned that intensity, aggressiveness, and she, I would venture to guess, had the most rebounds during that little set that those players were on the court.
I would think so, and that's what made Camden Hills so successful. That was their identity, aggressive, both defensively, offensively. They wanted to attack, and then hitting the boards.
Step back jumper offline there. Some of the starters back out there for both these squads. Bringing the ball up the court here for the North is Kylie Wag. 5'9" forward from Mount Ararat, handing off to Provost. She tries to return it down low. Wag gives it back. Provost lets fly. Back iron 3 winds up in the hands of Destiny Peter. South sharing the ball well, getting it down low, but then that Bowles getting a hand in there and knocking the ball out of play.
You can see the basketball IQ on all these players out here. Just the way they play their offense, is having no practices really together. They understand basketball spacing and understand the strengths and weaknesses. Like Grace Labrie goes inside, they get her the ball. The rest of them, they stay spaced out. So the understanding of just basketball concepts in general here is pretty impressive, especially these players haven't played together before. Keeping spaced and running pick and rolls and screens and cuts. It's just basic basketball, and they're doing a very good job at it.
Lamson crossing the timeline, now continuing with the drive right down the middle of the lane, scooping it up. Nothing but net from directly under the basket. That is what a Miss Maine finalist looks like.
And I forgot to mention that whole basketball rant there about concepts and everything is having pretty good talent makes it go a lot better too, as you just saw there with Kylie Lampson's.
When you can go 1-on-4 down the lane,
yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Bowles off the inbound, pass out top, picked off by Peter. Spinning the other way, she gets her pocket picked from behind, but the North unable to keep it in play. Jensen went sprinting after it before the ball goes out across the baseline. 23 seconds away from the midway point of this opening half. The South leading the North by 9. Coverage here on Ticket TV, brought to you in part by Eastern Maine Community College. At EMCC, every student has a story. Some are just beginning, others starting a new chapter. Wherever you are, your future can start at emcc.edu. Coverage also brought to you by Dorsey Furniture, Route 1A in Holden. They just received the Bedding Industries of America's 2025 mattress showroom. 40 mattresses, mostly queen. And you'll save 50% off regular price. Need a better night's rest? Go see Dorsey's today. Couple of misses at either end. Lamson pops from deep. Kylie Lamson.
She's having a game already. She wants that MVP award that they pass out here at the end of these games.
10 of the 23 points for the South squad. She is almost equaling what the North has put out there offensively. There's a long ball put up, a little too strong. And there's Lamson cleaning up the boards. Kylie Lamson undecided on her future, but I can't imagine today will be the final basketball game she plays.
I can't either. Most of the time you get as far as she did, especially on the award circuit, you're usually going on to the next level at some point.
I'm thinking she's undecided because she has a few options out there.
Yeah.
Still deciding upon.
No need to rush it.
Ashley Shores up to 6 points, leading the North. (23-13) here as we dip inside of 9 minutes remaining in the first half. Peter backing out on the baseline into a deep 2. Nice shot there. Buttery on the way up. Destiny Peters, 5'11" center from South Portland. 9-point per game score to go with 12 rebounds. Allen on the up and under gets fouled. And some free throws coming up here for Juliana.
Juliana Allen to the free throw line.
6-foot Mount Ararat product will be attending the University of New England to play basketball next year. The hope of becoming a physical therapist. Major in exercise science as she hits the first free throw for her first point of the game. She was the 2025 South Tournament MVP. 24 KVAC first team selection, 25 KVA second team selection. You see Peter active there, swallowing up the rebound, and basketball gets tipped off the scorer's table right below us.
Yeah, that's something we talked about during the season, especially during the tournament, too. Some of these programs are now in different parts of the state, at least on paper geographically, when you're talking about north and south.
Man.
Lamson again. So what was a B team south last year might be a B team north this year, as case with Oceanside.
Yep.
No, actually Oceanside stayed.
They stayed south, but
right.
Yeah. Jensen from the top of the key trying to attack. She got her legs taken out as she tried to rise up. A couple of free throws coming up, back-to-back trips resulting in freebies here for the North. Someone is going to have to stay on the sidelines unless there's a couple of makes here from Jensen, as we have 10 players at the scorer's table.
It's almost better if they take – both teams have 12 players, so you end up having to short a couple rotations out there, which these kids don't mind. Most of them have either just finished up, so they're still in shape, or some haven't played in a while because maybe they had an early exit in the tournament. So trying to keep pace, and with the lungs not burning if you haven't played in a while, it's good to have that short sub rotation. But they could always go to 15 and just go 3 sets of 5.
You would think, yeah.
They don't want to water down the process either, because this is a pretty prestigious award selection thing with Maine Basketball Coaches Association and the McDonald's to do all this. And just a little insight to that, because I was part of the MABC for quite a while. It's not an easy thing to get here. You have to write. You have to nominate your student athlete based on a list of credentials that the MABC McDonald's puts out to qualify. So it doesn't mean, okay, I got a 1,000-point score, they automatically make it. That's not really how it works. It's a multifaceted guide of what they have to be. Good in the community, obviously good students. Basketball skills have to translate. But you just don't get here because you're the best. You get here because you're the most well-rounded and a pretty good basketball player. So,
not a popularity contest.
Not at
is
all.
What you're saying.
Not at all. And the other part is your coach has to be a registered MABC, part of the Coaches Association, to be able to nominate players. We've seen that in the past, unfortunately, where players that you would think would be in the game never made it because their coach wasn't part of the program. And if you're not, you can't really nominate a player. It's a great association to be part of anyways. The Maine Basketball Coaches Association does a great job with these kind of things. They really want to give back to the student athlete and get them recognized and rewarded for their hard work in both the classroom and on the court.
Ripley stepping into a rhythm three, unable to bank it home. Offensive rebound, winds up back with Ripley. She runs right into the brick wall of Grace Labrie.
My guess is she's probably done something like that in a couple of her practices over the year between the Breen sisters. Down at Oceanside, she's probably run into a couple brick walls before.
She's had to go up against some towers over her high school career at practice.
She's probably more skilled than anyone to know how to play against taller players.
Looked like she was getting all the way home that time, but then again, Labrie over for the swat. Shores gets rejected at the other end. A block party going on here at Newman Gymnasium here this morning. And a little bit of a lid placed on both baskets at the moment. Our coverage on Ticket TV brought to you by Bangor Savings Bank. They're proud to support the Maine McDonald's All-Star Games, celebrating Maine top student athletes while supporting families across their communities. At Bangor Savings Bank, you matter more. Visit Bangor.com. Also brought to you by Quirk Auto Group. You can make sure you're ready with a reliable truck or SUV from Quirk Motor City in Bangor. Nice take, just falling off the rim. Shop their wide selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. It's your truck or SUV. Find it at Quirk Motor City. 377 Hogan Road in Bangor, online at quirkauto.com.
I have to say something a little. That was Jill Ford. This is the first time she's taken a shot. And she was a leading scorer in the KVAC North A from the stats I had printed at the end of the tournament for Brewer, which unfortunately didn't make the tournament this year, but they were short numbers. And she had a great season. She kind of had to play. She had a great career. She had to play a little bit of everything. 5'10" point guard is not ideal spot for her, but she did it effectively and shot the ball well and was a pretty good leader for that program.
15 points, 8 boards for the 5'10" guard. Plans on attending a 2-year school and hoping to continue playing basketball and study PT. Corcoran splits the pair at the line. She has 5 of the South's 30.
The other thing that makes these players stand out a little bit too are there's not a lot of them that just specialize in one. I mean, there are a few, but a lot of these players are multi-sport athletes. They play 3 sports, and they're usually pretty good at all 3.
Yeah, we got a couple of future soccer players that are going to be showing off their basketball skills today. Some future softball players that'll be heading off to college in the fall to play a different sport. A lot of 2- and 3-sport all-stars at the high school level like you're talking about. Good ball movement here by the North. They get it inside to Labrie. Look at those post moves. Grace Labrie, 6'4" with her first 2.
And actually, Ford and Labrie both played together as freshmen. They both made the Brewer. They were at Brewer at the same time as they made the varsity program as freshmen. So they have a history of playing together and know each other well.
Forcing one up and squeaking it over the iron. Nia Avery with her second basket. Yeah, Grace Labrie, a little tour during her 4 years in high school, a year at Brewer, a year at Orono, and finally winding up with 2 at Hampden Academy, winning a couple of regional titles there.
Yeah, she has that town luxury of living in a town that
School choice.
Can send them to anywhere. And
why not take advantage of it?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a deep one put up, shot offline, and a rebound. Hauled in by Jill Ford. Showing off those point guard ball handling skills, leading the break. A little rondo fake at the end of it to get the shot off the window.
She would come up with some shots this year that you wouldn't expect, and then she'd do it and be like, wow, she had the Nowitzki step back, little fadeaway off 1 foot, that she's got that down pat.
Ripley, good looking step back, but couldn't connect to fight for the offensive board. But then Corcoran dribbles it off the baseline. That buzzer means 10 new players on the court with 3:47 remaining here in the first half. South on top of the North, 32-22. Ticket TV coverage brought to you by Northeast Driving School. They've been the leader in driver training since 1969. You can register for driver's ed courses today at Greater Bangor's #1 driving school. Go to northeastdrivingschool.com to select your course. Also brought to you by Auto Radiator. For over 50 years, Bangor car owners have trusted Auto Radiator services for reliable repairs and upgrades. From oil changes to custom installs, they do it all. Visit them at 568 Hammond Street in Bangor or go to autoradiatorservices.com. Make sure to check out Dean's Detailing, the leader in auto detailing for over 54 years. Renew your vehicle's appearance, protect your auto investment, look good and feel good in a clean, shiny car. Book your appointment at deansdetailing.com. Maddie Provost, all smiles after being rejected over the top off the inbound pass. She thought she had a clean layup.
Yeah, that was Lamson. Not just scoring on the offensive end, playing some defense here.
Says, well, you took my Miss Maine award from me. Let me take the basketball from you.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many of these players, because a lot of them, you can tell by the interactions with each other that they know each other well, and it all starts with hoops. Hoops, that basketball community's pretty tight nowadays, the way it works out with AAU, and you can tell a lot of these players have played together or played a lot against each other.
Maddie Provost showing off her rebounding skills right there. Couldn't hit the follow, but she was a beast on the boards in that state championship game for Lawrence, winding up with a double-double. What she have, like 19 and 14, I think?
She does it all. I mean, she takes she's a high-volume shooter. That's just the way that their offense was run, and smartly so. She was a dominant scorer and ball handler, so you might as well put the ball in her hands as much as you can and let her create. And as she creates, that opens up opportunities for her teammates. As you can see, Ashley Shores had a great couple of years playing with Provost as well. But she can get up. That's one of the things. She's got long arms, and when she jumps, she can get off the floor quite a bit. So she can go out and get rebounds against some of the tallest players out there.
28 points, 9 rebounds during our senior season to go along with 4.5 assists per game for the future Holy Cross product. Going off to play D1 hoops next year. And Holy Cross actually checked last night. They're second in the Patriot League, so getting a good player, but that good player joining a good program.
Yeah, that's the other part to this. A lot of these players, there's opportunities for a lot of kids to go a lot of places. It doesn't mean you have to be the best on your team or even the second best on the team. If you want to play college basketball, there's an opportunity somewhere. Nice job by Florida Jones there for the reverse layup.
Yeah, great feed, and then Jones with the crafty reverse layup.
So there's opportunity to play beyond here if you want to, and you want to make a career of it the next level. And then there's that top end basketball, where we'll talk about the provosts, and in the past you had like J.C. Christopher and Bailey Breen, now up in Maine, Emmy Streams. So there's a lot of Lizzie Gruber.
Nia Irving, another one from
absolutely.
Lawrence, playing D1 at BU.
Yeah, Belle McLaughlin's another one. She went to Providence, and now she was at BU. So that high-level basketball as well.
At that level, Anna DeWolf, 4 years at Fordham, transferring to Notre Dame for the extra year.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who was at Villanova for 4 years, too.
Southern
Maine, that's going to kill
escaping me, too.
It's terrible because she was a top-end player.
Provost knocks down the first free throw to add to her total.
Yeah, so it's good to see the Maine players make it on more of a national level, but it's also great to see them play at the small college level because, as you can see, if you read in the paper or read online, our small college teams, USM, Bowdoin, Bates, they're all playing great.
Yeah.
Farmington. So the Maine basketball program is in a good spot right now, Maine college basketball.
Kylie Lamson with a deep three. She has 15 points here in the first half to lead all scorers. South on top by 9, 37-26. As we hit a minute remaining in the first half, Provost trying to whip it down low, but it got tipped out of play. Yeah, throughout today's rosters, you're going to see a lot of players going off to whether it's Farmington, Umpy, Thomas College, a lot of those in-state schools. As I mentioned, at least 4 coming right here to join the Husson program, play on this court next year. Here's a deep three knocked down.
Goodman from deep. That's the other part. And then they're just not going there to play. It used to be the days where you go to college, and if you wanted to play a sport, you were going to college for the sport and maybe less about the college.
Yeah.
Now you look at what these players are, these young ladies are, they're majors. Pre-law, nursing. They're not joining something just so they can get by and continue to play their hoops career. They understand the importance of their degree and
Fight for the rebound down low. Gets pulled out of there by the South. A ball fake on a three. Lamson off the dribble. Step back. Can't get the shot to fall. Another offensive board
Marley
down
Jarvey
low.
from Wyndham. She's tearing it up on the boards right now.
Still going after it and battling. And eventually, what was that? A jump ball sending it back this direction. Jarvey's 5'10" forward from Wyndham, who averaged 11 points, 7.7 rebounds per game. And another one of those players. Oh my goodness, a buzzer beater. Leah Jones from half court putting a punctuation mark on the first half.
That was easy for her, too. I mean, it took a little bit of leg strength, but right on line, nice release.
Well, that is a dramatic way to end this first half. Have another look at it. I was going to tell you about Marley Jarvais, another one of these future collegiate players going off to Southern New Hampshire University, but then right inside half court, Leah Jones spotting up to beat the buzzer. 40-29 our score at the break. Only a 5-minute halftime, and we're already 30 seconds into it, so we'll take a timeout. And before you know it, we'll be back here for the second half on Ticket TV.
Any job goes more smoothly and successfully with the right people on your team, like the people at Hammond Lumber Company, where you'll find high-quality building materials from industry-leading suppliers and get expert advice and professional services. Hammond offers timely delivery with their own fleet of trucks, with boom and forklift trucks available. For your next project, get the materials and services you need to succeed from Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
Husson University, we're at the half of our first of 4 Maine McDonald's All-Star games. It is the AB girls going at it with the South leading the North 40-29. Just taking a look at some of the top performers in that first half. Kylie Lamson, 15 points to lead all scorers for the South. Ashley Shores leading the way for the North with 6. Leah Jones with 5 after she hit that deep 3 right before the half. Anna Goodman also with 5 from the South to go with Kaylee Corcoran. Nia Avery has 4 points, as does Taylor Loring and Maddie Provost in the North. Delaney Hoare with 3. Renee Ripley with 3 in the South. And then Lila Dunphy, Marley Jarvais, Natalie Lathrop, and Destiny Peter all with 2 in the South. Lizzie Bowles, Jill Ford, Jenna Jensen, and Grace Labrie all with a pair in the North. Those are your scoring totals. Actually, Juliana Allen also with a point in that first half as we take a look at the first half highlights. Coverage today on Ticket TV is brought to you by Dairy Queen Bangor. Picture your favorite DQ treat, a Blizzard, cone shake, dilly bar, or peanut buster parfait. Now picture it in your hand or in your car cup holder. Stop imagining and make it real today at DQ 668 Broadway in Bangor. Got distracted mid-read. I think we have a little bit of a technical issue. Someone might have booted the power down at the scorer's table because the scoreboard went down there momentarily. I think Jim Churchill might have lost his PA abilities there for a second, but
he'll find a way to speak.
The lights are back on, so we look to be good to go. 2:26 now frozen on the clock here at the half as the highlights continue to roll from the first 20 of play. Today's coverage also brought to you by Next Home Experience, the market leader. Get leaked and get sold with Next Home Experience as you take a look at Grimace pacing the sidelines here at the Maine McDonald's All-Star Games. And when the final buzzer sounds, spring and golf season will be right around the corner. The Hidden Meadows Golf Course in Old Town, golf is for everyone. They feature a 9-hole course, a 300-yard driving range, and a fully stocked pro shop. Hey, don't forget to follow The Ticket on social media. 92.9 The Ticket on Facebook, 929 The Ticket on Instagram, sports.net.maine on TikTok, and our YouTube page, Sportsnet Maine. We'll take one more time out, and when we come back, it is time for the second half. This is the Maine McDonald's All-Star Games on Ticket TV here at Husson University. Second half of the AB Girls Contest coming up right after this timeout on Ticket TV.
Your local professional eco-friendly office space partner is Levesque Business Solutions, your one-stop shop to get the job done. Handling all your office furniture and printing machine needs at an affordable price. Offering full system integration into your workplace and local service on everything we sell. We can even remote monitor your system with just-in-time inventory and service need assessments. Little to no downtime gives you peace of mind. At Levesque Business Solutions, your solution is only an email or a phone call away.
Acadia Federal Credit Union keeps you in touch with your money using our mobile app, Acadia Go. Access your account anytime, anywhere. Check balances, transfer funds, pay bills, and even deposit checks with the tap of a button. That's not all. Now with Apple Pay, use your fingerprint to pay for purchases. It's quick and your account information is never shared. Apple Pay is safe and private. Acadia Federal Credit Union, we keep you mobile.
University, Maine McDonald's All-Star Games, coverage presented in part by Madden Generator Services. Storms are blitzing in. Don't let your power get set. Call Dakota at Madden Generator Services for expert installation and rock-solid maintenance. Keep the lights on and the heat rolling at 951-4668-POWER. You can count on. And we're brought to you by the Henry's Bridal Boutique and Formal Wear. Prom season is right around the corner. From stunning prom dresses to sharp tuxedos, the Henry's has everything you need to make your night unforgettable. Stop in and visit them at 31 Washington Street in Bangor. See more at thehenrysbridal.com. Peter going strong to the baseline. Couldn't get the shot to fall, and the rebound tipped into the hands of Loring. North bringing it up the court. A jumper, long two. Unable to connect, and into the hands of Ripley.
Yeah, coaches make a tweak sometimes at halftime, just changing rotations a little bit, letting some different players play with other players that didn't play with the first half, and you can see that on the north side. I think the south is the same here. They've switched up a little bit.
Jill Ford out there to start the second half, mixing it up and getting a rebound right there. Jensen off to Loring in the corner, trying to whip it down low to Labrie, where she was battling with Peter. Today's coverage also brought to you by Quality Automotive in Brewer, where reliable service meets expert care. From routine maintenance to major repairs, their team keeps your vehicle running right. You can experience Quality Automotive and the difference their team makes at 13 Abbott Street in Bangor. Visit qualityautomotive.com. Runner won't fall, and the rebound ping-ponging around into the hands of Ripley. She lobs it over the top. Dellinger on the attack. She gets blocked on the baseline. No. Ashley Shores. A little bit of a wry smile there. She thought she had a clean one, and instead going to the line with a chance for her first point of the morning. Zoe Dellinger, guard from Gorham.
You don't see a lot of fouls in these games. It's played. They let contact go a little bit more than a normal high school game, but there isn't a whole lot of contact that happens out there, especially, well, maybe less in the girls' game.
Dellinger splits the pair. Shores swallows up the rebound. I mentioned Dellinger from Gorham. That's a team that has as much postseason pedigree as just about anybody down south on the girls' side.
Yeah, just think of the players. Holmes.
Ford dialing in from distance.
I can see her high school coach over there in the corner with their triplets. She's got a small basketball team over there, Tanner Ross. Watching Jillian play today. Very proud of her. Of course, Tanner Ross, the Brewer coach, played at Maine for 4 years during the really good years and was a Hamden Academy star.
And here is her ball handler with the basketball, handing to Shores, who lobs it down low to Labrie, trying to go up strong through the contact, and Grace Labrie muscling that one home.
And Grace has really developed. Her game's come a long way since her freshman year, watching her at Brewer and then moving through. But she's really developed a complete game. She's one of the best passers inside out. She's looking to make that pass to the opposite side. And if you're a shooter, you better be ready if you're open on the weak side, because she's going to find you from that mid-post area.
Grace Labrie will be joining Marley Jarvet at Southern New Hampshire University next year, as SNHU getting some size in the post between
Actually, I think
6'4" Labrie.
Yeah, Jarvet, it looks like she's going there for soccer.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, that's.
Yeah, but
I had it right here.
Yeah,
but
still.
just read it past the first part of my note that I made on her. Just saw the Southern New Hampshire University. Actually, SNHU, I believe that's where.
Madeline Depre won.
Yes, started blanking on the name. Just saw the Caribou Viking in my head as I started the sentence. But yeah,
and that's a good program. That's a. I looked at some of her numbers throughout the year. I think she was coming off the bench for them and playing 16 to 18 minutes. Maybe it was earlier in the season. She was getting a run. So as good a player as we know Madeline Depre was for the last 4 years prior to this year. Playing at a high level basketball, it doesn't mean you immediately start, but you find your way in there, and that's a respectable spot for her.
Loring picking up the loose ball off the court. Taylor Loring continuing right to the hoop and scooping it up for two.
So if you're Coach Kissy Walker, you're going to be happy with what's coming in here next year for players in their skill sets with Loring, Hoare, Clark. Missing one here, but
I believe Loring will actually be an opponent.
Oh, that's right.
Year,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I had it mixed up. Yep.
She'll be seeing a fair amount of this gym as a member of UMaine Farmington.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Labrie rolls it in over the iron, and all of a sudden the North has cut this to a 4-point game, 44-40. Labrie up to 6 points as we get our latest line change.
You know how I like to bring stuff around full circle. So Farmington's coach is Nate Carson, and he was a Brewer High alumni basketball player, played for Coach Goodwin. Then Goodwin for, I think, 3 years, maybe Mark Reed once when Mark was there prior to that. But I know it was definitely Ben Goodwin he played for, but he's doing a great job down at Farmington, getting talent in there to.
Yeah, exciting times at Farmington right now because the men had a great year this year as
Absolutely.
well. Oh, look at that dish down low to Avery Clark laying it up.
And we mentioned Bella McLaughlin playing in this game and then playing at BU in Providence. Her younger brother, Zach, is one of the stars as a sophomore at UMaine Farmington in that program. They had a big win last night.
What's he averaging, like north of 25 this year? He's putting up big numbers.
He was on my AAU team. I had a really good AAU team when I was coaching when they were 7th and 8th graders, and tried him out at point guard because I thought he could handle the ball well. Didn't really know a whole lot about his game, and gave him the ball, and he went end to end. I'm like, oh, maybe that it was a one and done. After that, I'm like, he's just a shooting guard. Let's put him off the wing. I'm not going to get much offense with him, but he went right to the hoop. He's very talented.
He knew what to do with it.
Yeah.
Knew what the ultimate goal was. That shot offline. Still a 4-point game here as the North has worked their way back in it, looking to get a little closer here. And they do so. Juliana Allen with her first field goal of the game.
Yeah, another look ahead by Hoare on that one, and the North is getting to run out a little bit here.
Only Elizabeth Bowles and Kaylee Wag have yet to score for the North. Kaylee Wag, step back jumper here. Left a little short. Rebound pulled away by the North. Lead pass up ahead. Chase down. Provost down low. Whips it across. Allen keeps it alive. Kick out to Bowles. Her three offline. Before or after the game, satisfy your sweet tooth at Sweet Cheeks 24-hour bakery, open around the clock in Ellsworth, Verona Island, Holden, and Newport. You can also be sure to check out Sweet Cheeks Diner in Bucksport too. Visit sweetcheeksbakes.com.
That's right. It was Bowles who's coming here to play at Husson as well.
She'll be joining former teammate Abby Raydell, who was running the point or playing guard this year for Kissy Walker's squad.
Yeah, and talking about Maine College basketball again, it was USM that beat Johnson and Wales, where Grace Jaffrey is playing basically a year ahead of where she should be. She kind of did the Cooper Flag route. And
Talk about big numbers. She was putting up some monster numbers. I believe it was last year as a freshman, right?
And you got to give credit to USM. They held their scoreless last night.
Bowles off to Hoare, has her three spin out.
That USM team's a real deal with obviously J.C. Christopher, Lucy Wiles, and Dakota Shipley from Brunswick playing down there as their core players, and good times down at USM for the girls program, women's program, better way to say it.
7.5 minutes off the clock here in the second half. Sticking to that 4-point margin. Provost with a steal, bringing the basketball up the court. Little hesitation dribble, and then just tries to throw her body into the traffic. Gets it back, hands off to Hoare. Mid-range jumper is smooth. Delaney Hoare with 5 points. Making the last name proud, Chris.
Yeah, I don't want to seem biased because she's a relative, but so I'm careful. But if I don't say anything good about her, then I also get
You'll hear about that.
Family grief. Yeah, Delaney's been a great player. I had her when she was younger in travel, and it's good to see her moving on to the next level and her career developing in the way it did.
She'll be part of the Husson program next year, and one of those players we talk about that aren't just coming to school to play basketball and have a good time. She's coming here to study pre-law.
Yeah, her aunt, who would be my first cousin, so is a lawyer in Southern Maine. So maybe that's a little bit of family rubbing off. And her older sister played at BAPS and Bangor. Kaylee is into physical therapy, where her aunt
great feed down
was a
low.
physical therapist and played basketball here at Husson, was a captain for Coach Kissy Walker.
Destiny Peter, the beneficiary of that last feed. 52-46 is the South lead. Strong take and free throws coming up.
We'll say Delaney gets her basketball from her, we'll say her mother's side. I don't want to give my cousin Avery, her dad, credit. Her aunt was Noelle Lincoln, who played here. I think she was an assistant at Bangor this year. Played at Bangor and Nokomis in her high school career. That was many years ago. Very good basketball talent. Her grandfather was a coach at BAPS for a little bit, so there's talent on the other side of the family. Can't say it's all.
Kaylee Wag getting into the scoring column, and that leaves just Lizzie Bowles, according to my score sheet, as the only player on the north without points this morning. Peter trying to muscle her way to the hoop, but loses the basketball out across the baseline. 11:06 remaining in this first game of the day. 4 games coming up. We got the AB boys to follow this one, and then we break for slam dunk competition, 3-point contest, and then it's off to CDS. The boys up first, and the girls the 4th and final game of the day. Did you hear who that one was?
That was, Jenna Jensen from Mount Ararat knocking down the 3.
I made the mistake of looking down at my paper and then couldn't find the name. Jenna Jensen getting the north back within 1. She's got 5 points.
And then just made a great defensive play on Lamson, who's been kind of pulling the north team apart as she went down to the down through the lane. Jensen got her in a tie-up.
Jenna, another one of the big-brained players on the court, going off to study biology at St. Joseph's College, where she'll also play basketball. Feeding it down low to Peter, who got all alone. Not sure how the biggest player on the court winds up in that much space, but Destiny Peter says thank you, and she's up to 6.
And I apologize ahead of time. We don't see enough of the Southern Maine teams to know a lot about what their players were and what they did team-wise. You just read about a lot of it. You watch a little bit as you scout state games. But Peter's an impressive player. Physical, strong, uses her strength as her asset very well.
Over 500 rebounds during her high school career, a 2025 state champion in South Portland, going off to continue her basketball career at Central Maine Community College, trying to cut off the drive of Loring, who gets it off to Shores. Kick out 3, money.
That Central Maine Community College, that's another big program that's really developed into quite a hotbed of sports. So there's all levels, like I was talking about earlier, all levels if you want to continue playing a sport in college, because there's so many different levels of college athletics that you can continue on depending on how intense you want it to be and how well you're adapted for it. We haven't talked about a couple other schools. Obviously, Maine Maritime women have had a good program over the years. Thomas College.
Yep. Jensen on the attack, right side of the lane. Her floater won't fall. A rebound for Wag. She can't get it to go. Shore's offensive board. Back up. No. Battling down low with Peters. We got a foul. And free throws. Yes.
We'll talk about Umpy probably a little bit later when we get into the CDS games, a little more county-based teams, players.
Wag starting to fill it up in the second half as she hits the first free throw. Now with 6 after going scoreless through the first 20. 2 of 2 at the line, using the rim for a little aid. When you're craving mouth-watering pizza or Italian food made from fresh ingredients, go to Angela's Pizzeria. You can stop by at 499 Hammond Street in Bangor or 102 Main Road South in Hamden. Order online at AngelosBangor.com. Destiny Peter adds to her total. Coverage also brought to you by Crystal Clear Pet Center in Ellsworth. They have quality products, healthy animals, and a clean environment. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., 10 to 5 on Sunday at 33 High Street. Crystal Clear Family Pet Center, the clear choice for all your pet care needs. And Premium Choice Broadband has you covered from homes to businesses. Even in rural Maine, get fiber-fast internet up to 1 gig starting at just $54 a month. Visit PremiumChoiceBroadband.com. Jones working off a screen, trying to send it back to the screener. Shore's extra pass to the baseline. Jensen got fouled on the take. We're getting some free throws here in the second half of this All-Star game. 56 all with 8:26 to play. A good one to begin the day.
They want to get out and loose and feel it out in the first half, and then the competitive juices start going, and they want the bragging rights of the win.
Of course, goal balls this year evenly split, 5 and 5 between North and South.
Get the boys A and B teams.
2 of those South goal balls being Valley High School, so geographically I'm going to go ahead and take credit for those as someone in the northern half of the state. Peter down low, goes to work again and flips it up with the left. Couldn't get it to fall. Wag, a strong rebound, having to fight off Peter. She is making her presence felt down low.
I believe it's still Coach Lynn Husson down at South Portland. She must have had a field day coaching Peters down there, having that size, mobility, offensive skill, defensive intensity.
Wide open 3 out top. Jones unable to dial it in. Off and running with the rebound the other way. One thing on her mind, unable to get the shot to fall for the South. Ella Kenny. She is the lone South player to remain scoreless to this point. 10 new players on the court with 7:35 to play in the North. Now leading the South 58-56 here on Ticket TV, where our coverage is brought to you in part by Fat Panda Boba Tea and Market. Harlow Street in Bangor next to Goslin's Donuts. They feature fresh boba tea, snacks, ramen, and now Jamaican patties open 7 days a week. You can also visit their brewer location next to Wilson Street in Hannaford. While you're over at that direction, check out Goslin's Bakery, 334 Harlow Street in Bangor. They're open 7 days a week. Grab a breakfast sandwich or one of their legendary donuts or pastries made fresh since 1945. Also, check out Goslin's Bakery and Deli in Brewer next to Hannaford. Maddie Provost.
I think that's her
off the
first
range.
3 there for Provost.
7 points now. The math would suggest that you are correct as Provost grabs the rebound and heads into the front court. She's got Allen breaking in front of her. Instead, hands to Labrie. Labrie had that one poked free from behind. It gave the appearance almost of a shot. Labrie's going to have a couple of free throws coming up.
To the strike.
Labrie hits the first, giving her 7. Once again, heading off to Southern New Hampshire University after averaging 10.5 points to go with 8.5 rebounds during her senior season at Hamden Academy. Long 2, rattled home.
They need numbers on the front of their jerseys. It would be a lot better.
Did not get there it is. She finally turned around for us. That was Zoe Dellinger knocking down her first made field goal of the game. Dellinger has it back in the corner, bouncing it down low. Hudson going to work. Out top, it's Ripley. She slams on the brakes, loses the defender. Kick out to Dellinger. High arc and 3 down through the bottom of the net.
Well, she's making her presence felt here. 3 followed by a 2.
All you need is see one go through the twine, and then they start to fall. Provost over the defender, can't get it to go. South bringing the ball up the court with a chance to take the lead back. Ball fake down low. Kaylee Corcoran showing off the post move. She's up to 7. 5-10 forward from South Portland puts the South back in front.
That's a tough shot for a righty, spinning that direction and shooting over traffic in the post.
She'll be staying local, attending Southern Maine Community College to play basketball next year. A steal here. Allen slams on the brakes at the window and gets denied down low. Loose basketball will roll out along the baseline, and it will belong to the South, who leads it 63-62 with 5:21 to play. Ticket TV brought to you in part by Doors Equipment Company, your local Kubota dealer. Doors can help you with all your equipment needs. Visit doorsequipment.com. Step back 3 from Ripley, left short. If you're stuck on the side of the road, Union Street Towing has you covered 24/7 statewide. From breakdowns to lockouts, they'll get you moving fast. 942-4200. Union Street Towing is driven to be there when you need them the most. And Sweet Frog, located by Walmart in Bangor. Before or after the game, grab delicious froyo. Make it a championship level treat any day of the week.
Because my mind wouldn't let me not figure out who the other player was at Villanova that played for me. It was Emily Esposito.
There you go.
I can't forget her name. She was a fantastic basketball player from Gorham.
Will we get a timeout from these coaches in this tight ball game?
Jim Churchill adding commentary to the PA duties.
He must have thought he had his headset doing a play-by-play.
Guess he's getting bored down there at the table. Getting antsy to get up here on the call
we have
for the next
Ernie
game.
Clark arrival, and later on today he'll have an exclusive one-on-one interview with Grimace. Not sure he'll get many words, but
Probably currently reprimanding Jim for adding that bit of color to the PA. Ooh, nice bounce pass down low, and it's paid off by Ava Goodman. Ava Hudson, excuse me. I was looking down at my scorer sheet. I combined the names of Anna Goodman and Ava Hudson. Ava Hudson scoring her first points of the day there, though, the 5'8" senior from Sanford. 5 new players for the South coming onto the court with 4:05 to play. And now 5 new for the North. 65-62, the South leading it. If you're hungry after the game, visit the Back Alley Bar and Restaurant at the Family Fun Bowling Center, 15 Hilder Street in Bangor. And the Coach House Restaurant has home-style cooking, homemade desserts, and experience-friendly staff. Find them at 457 Wilson Street in Brewer with takeout available. Bowls can't connect, but the rebound popping into the hands down low. Delaney Hoare, right place, right time, back up for 2.
I think you're going to see Bowles get on the board here, too. She can score him in a heartbeat.
Doing it defensively down low right there with a block and picking up the loose ball. Bowles feeds Shores into the corner. Loring for the lead off the top of the backboard and then catches the iron. Not the iron that the twine hangs from, though, the one that is holding the basket.
That looked a little bit like how the Celtics started last night. And there was a few.
That was a rough one.
The nerves were pumped up a little bit. A couple side of the backboard 3-point shots.
Ooh, Dumpy slicing through the D, dropping it off down low.
A great look by Loring to Shores there.
Back and forth we go. It's remaining a 1-score game. Ashley Shores into double figures now with 10. 1-point game, 3:05 to play. Ticket TV coverage brought to you by the Farmer's Table. Homestyle cooking just like Mom makes it. Visit the Farmer's Table, 15 Stetson Road in Corinna. Yeah, a scary moment there last night at the Garden when Cooper Flagg went down early in the game, but staying in it with all the Mainers that were in attendance to see him out there after clutching the middle of his
I'm thinking that's the
foot.
only reason he stayed in, because he did not look the same after that. Not his normal. just I don't want to say the energy level because it wasn't energy. I think just the cautiousness he played with after that. He got blown by Pritchard on a shot that doesn't normally happen, and he was a little slow, and his aggression was a little bit less. And I
can't imagine we'll see him out there at Toronto for their next game.
Yeah, and like you mentioned off air, that back-to-back nights, you're surprised they were playing anyways, but you knew he wasn't gonna miss this one, and probably not the game you wanted to have, although it was still, a bunch of points, a bunch of assists, and a bunch of rebounds.
Ashley Shores with a 3 to put the North on top by 2. 2.5 to play.
I mean, he looked like he was maybe at 75% once he went back out there, and he still put up great numbers. It's just a testament to how good a player he is.
Speaking of a testament to how great of a player someone is, Jason Tatum did not expect him to look like he did last night once the shots started falling.
No, after he ran out the nervous energy a little bit in the beginning, he was knocking down threes with guys in his face, kind of like Lamson just did right there for the South. He looked good.
Lamson with the first made field goal of the second half. She had 15 in the first half. 1 point lead for the North with 2 minutes to play. Bowles on the attack to the basket, rejected from behind. That is the most contact we've seen today. She gets a little bump from the defender, a pat on the back, and now she'll have a chance to get in the scoring column at the free throw line. Trying to put her team up by the 1 possession max.
Yeah, Bowles
of course I jinx her.
Yeah, Bowles is a pretty complete player. If you watch her play enough, she always looks like she's looking for herself to score. The way she attacks, she's got the drive, the intensity of going, but she's always looking for someone else if they're open and have a better look than she does. But she can score at will if she wants, both from deep and getting to the hoop, but she distributes pretty well too.
Unable to connect at the line, but the South unable to come down and pay off their trip at the offensive end. Back with the North and a 1 point lead. Down low. They'll now back it out. Loring will put up a 3. No problem with the fly-by hand in her face. Taylor Loring with a triple. She's got 9. And the North now leads it by 2 possessions. South unable to answer.
Lamson's that type of player that if you're playing against her, you might want to pick her up at half court, because if you give her a few feet to get over this side of the court, she's got that kind of range and she'll take that shot. Kind of witnessed right there. She missed it, but it was right on line from 28 feet.
Jensen sees a path open to the basket, and Jenna Jensen now has 11 points.
1 minute left.
1 minute remaining. The North on top by 6, 76-70. Lamson on the attack. She gets bumped on her way to the basket, but foul on the floor. Yes. 49.2 to play. Ticket TV brought to you in part by Tony Murray's Fairway Auto Sales in Hancock. You can check out their huge lineup of quality pre-owned vehicles, each one backed by the exclusive complimentary 6-month, 6,000-mile major component coverage plan. Jensen squeezes the basketball with
They're trying to hold
just
it now.
above half a minute to play. The South runs right through her with a steal. Lamson to the bucket, and it's a 4-point game. 20 points here for Lamson to lead all scorers. But less than 20 seconds to play.
Oh. Tough spot to pick the ball up here because the South is looking to get a steal in a trap.
Bowles has it with under 10 to play. Just trying to hold on to it. And that should do it. Hoare with the basketball. She will dribble off the final second. And the North, trailing by 11 at the half, earns a come from behind 76-72 lead. Win. That final word that I meant. 76-72, the victory for the North.
It's been a long season.
Long season, early morning. The first of 4 games here today on Ticket TV belongs to the North. Our coverage brought to you in part by Flash Me Maine Photo Booth Rentals. They're booking photo booths now that you'll go crazy for. Dates filling in fast. Lock yours in today with Maine's premier photo booth experience. Visit flashmemaine.com. Also brought to you by Hannaford Bucksport, 370 Main Street. Stop in for fresh produce, groceries, takeout, and friendly service that supports their local community. Ticket TV, presented by Pat's Pizza in Hamden. Whether playing or watching, basketball can work up quite an appetite. That's when it's time for Pat's Pizza on Main Road in Hamden. Give them a call, 947-6488. Kylie Lamson, the South MVP. She led all scorers with 20 points. Ticket TV coverage also brought to you by Bangor Tire Company. From a lawnmower to a skidder, Bangor Tire has you covered. Since 1927, the best in tires and service. Visit 514 Colbrick Road in Herman, BangorTireCompany.com. Ashley Shores, the MVP for the North, after leading the way with 13 points for the winning squad. The Growing Place in Polish helps families grow for less and polish your home for a style and a fraction of retail costs. Check out them first. Check them out often. Sustainability always trending at 1221 Broadway in Bangor and 548 Hammond Street in Bangor. And we're brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Family owned for over 30 years, Monday through Saturday with monthly $100 giveaways. Old Town Redemption Center, 13 Chester Street in Old Town. Call 827-7887. Game number 1 in the books. Chris, you get to chill for a while, right?
I do. I think I'm back at the 3-point dunk.
Intermission there.
Yeah. And then last game of the night, because that's the schedule I get. That's good for that. It's a boys' game. Different flow to it. And looking forward to it. This is, like I said, I was a proud member of this association. This is a great thing for the kids, and I enjoy this weekend.
Ticket TV, presented by Hammond Lumber Company, a fourth-generation family-owned business since 1953 with 34 locations across Maine and New Hampshire, proudly supporting Maine high school student-athletes. And, of course, we're presented by your local family-owned McDonald's, Main Street and Union Street in Bangor, and Wilson Street in Brewer. We'll take a timeout. Players clearing the floor, and the boys ready to come out of the locker room for the AB boys game coming up in just about 10 minutes' time. We'll break for that one. Jim Churchill and Ernie Clark will slide into our seats for the call of that next contest. You are locked into the Maine McDonald's All-Star Weekend on Ticket TV.
Any job goes more smoothly and successfully with the right people on your team, like the people at Hammond Lumber Company, where you'll find high-quality building materials from industry-leading suppliers and get expert advice and professional services. Hammond offers timely delivery with their own fleet of trucks, with boom and forklift trucks available. For your next project, get the materials and services you need to succeed from Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner.
The Maine Association of Basketball Coaches and Ronald McDonald House Maine want to thank these supporters of the 2026 Maine McDonald's All-Star Weekend. Diamond sponsors: Hammond Lumber Company, Maine McDonald's owner-operators. Host sponsor: Husson University. Silver sponsors: Eastern Maine Community College, Keurig Dr. Pepper, Roofing Source, The Fitch Company. Bronze sponsors: Bangor Savings Bank, McCain Foods, Bar Harbor Bank and Trust, Coca-Cola, and Martin